and please show loving kindness to me. And mention me to Pharaoh. Mention me to the king of the non-Jews. And get me out of this house. So Joseph's sitting in prison and he wants out. Joseph's in charge of the whole prison. And he still wants out of the prison routines, the prison housing system. He's in charge of. He's running the show, but he wants out of this house. When things go well with you, get me out of here, please. Do you think that that's appropriate? To ask Jesus to set us free from our sin? We may be ruling on this earth, but when things go well with you, can you tell Jesus to bring me on home to heaven? Maybe that's the connection that's happening. It takes more study. I can have these thoughts and these ideas, but to really confirm it, we have to go into the scriptures and see, are the connections that I'm suggesting actually confirmed in the stories and the accounts of the apostles of their experience with Jesus? Are some of these things being iterated or reiterated? For truly I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews. God's people, God's promises were going to come through. The promises that God made to Abraham were going to come and be manifested through the Hebrews. And also I have done not that they should put me into the dungeon. And plus I don't even deserve to be here. Do you think part of Joseph's desire is to just go back and work for Potiphar? Or do you think part of what Joseph wants is to go be with his father? He was stolen from the Hebrews. He wanted to be with Jacob. He wanted to be with his father. And he was sold into slavery. He would like to go back to his father. Did you see it, that Jesus was praying to be back with his father? Maybe we'd be one as we were in the beginning. Well, there's a lot of possibilities with these analogies here, with how I'm trying to connect this through associative language. Not everything that I'm trying to connect with associations is going to connect perfectly. What does connect perfectly is going to be deeply insightful. And then there's going to be other things that don't connect. But if I were to be corrected on those statements, those are going to be deeply insightful when I receive a correction for not quite aligning the analogy with the truth. When I get corrected, then I'm going to see things in a much deeper and more profound way. And the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good. And he said to Joseph, I also was in my dream and saw 3 white baskets were on my head. So now the baker comes up and says, oh, wow. The cupbearer just had this incredible interpretation. We were both sad. We were both just had these dreams, didn't know what they meant. And they both were just so sad. And then he hears the interpretation of the cupbearer and he goes, oh, I also had a dream. That's what the baker said. Let me tell you about my dream. And he give me an interpretation of it too. So I can feel better like the cupbearer. The person who tastes the cup for the keep, so that I can rejoice, and like the cupbearer is rejoicing, and then maybe I can get you out of here too, Joseph. Like he's excited, he's inspired to tell his story now too. He wants to hear the interpretation of his dream that he was sad about, so that he can be happy like the one who drinks the wine for the king. He wants to have the same level of rejoicing when he hears the interpretation of his dream that was making him sad. I also was in my dream and saw 3 white baskets. I saw 3 white baskets were on my head. And in the upmost basket, all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh. That has to have good interpretation. Pharaoh loves bread. Right? So the first guy, it's talking about grapes that were the fruit of the vine. And when we take communion, wine is symbolized with the forgiveness of sin. So what's the bread symbolized as? Flesh. Broken flesh. Flesh that was baked in a hurry when they were trying to rush out of Egypt. They didn't have time to make it leaven. They had to eat it on the go. It's fast food. It's called the bread of adversity, bread of affliction. Stuff like this. It's called similar things like that.